Namaste, hello, and welcome back to another video on Hamsavahini Vajraasthra. I'm Awhona. Today I'm here to share all the books that I have managed to complete so far, the books which I am currently reading, and of course this does not include my reading project books, but I did include a new book in my TBR, which is a horror novel, which I will be sharing with you further. And I had a reading slump in the middle of the week, so I watched a few TV series and not a few, a TV series and one movie. So all that and more coming up. So do please join me further in this video. So now let's get down to the books that I did manage to complete till date. So the first book was for the 12 challenge, which is an annual readathon where we read 12 books recommended by 12 friends over a period of 12 months. And this was started by an Instagrammer, Shadow Booker. And I was recommended the first book by Rebecca, who was from the Bookworm Alley Book Club Discord group. And the book she recommended me was called Malice by Heather Walter. And this is a queer romance. It's set in a fantasy world, and it is a fairy tale retelling of Sleeping Beauty. I absolutely love this book. The world building was fantastic. The characters were very strong. The language, which was picturesque, and for me this was a 4-star read. I have posted my review on this book, and I will link that in the description box below. So if you would like to check the review for this book, do please check on the description. Do please check on the link in the box below. So that's the first book that I completed, and I absolutely loved it. The second book, which I did manage to finish, was for the Flannery or January readathon, and this was a readathon. I mean, this is an ongoing readathon, and it will continue till the 31st of January or the 30th of January, and we have 3 hosts who have 3 challenges, and we have to read books written by Flannery O'Connor, and I just completed the challenge given by Victoria from a musical Bookworm. I'll post a link to her announcement in the description box below, and she had challenged us to read A Good Man is Hard to Find and other short stories, and I absolutely love this book. Now this is the first time that I was reading Southern Gothic, so the language was a little different for me, and yes, there's a lot of stories about faith. There's a lot of stories about Christian morals, and the evident evil which is present in the world will always be there, but how faith can change it, and how we approach faith, and what is the difference between living a moralistic life amidst the evil, and how it brings us out or pushes us into trouble, is something which is very well given in the stories. And I had initially planned that it's a short book, so I should be able to finish it within a week, but as I went through the stories, I allowed the stories to sink in, because the invisible moral which was present inside the story was absolutely evident, but then I did allow it some time, at least for me, it did take some time to sink in, because there was one particular story, for example, there was a boy who was not looked after by his family very well. He was in the care of a babysitter. So there's one particular babysitter who comes and takes him away with her and gets him baptized, because she realizes that he has not been baptized, and how the preacher's sermon sticks in his head and how he finds the kingdom of God. So that's something which was shocking, but it's a true reality which I found. And there were other stories which I absolutely enjoyed, and I did take my time. However, I managed to finish it, and that's the first book that I finished. There are two other challenges. One of them is by Christy Louis from Dostoevsky in Space, which is to read the letters written by Flannery O'Connor. I do have that book, but I don't think I'll be able to get to it. And there's also another challenge by the other host, and that is to read The Violet Bear It Away. I do have it on audio, and I'm not too sure whether I'll be able to complete it or not, but I do have a week left as well. So let's see if I can complete it well and good. But officially, that's the first book that I have completed for participation in this particular readathon. So those are the two readathons that I did manage to complete. There is a third readathon as well, which is being hosted by Kristinel SFF Reader, and that is the 2022 Novella Challenge, and I'm still not done through it. So hopefully by next week I should be able to give a clear update on where I am with regards to that particular readathon challenge. Now, I did pick up another book as well, which is called Dakhma by Hari Kumar, and this is an Indian author. He is also an Indian screenwriter, and he's popularly known as Horror Kumar because he writes a lot of horror stories. And this story is very interesting. I have not yet completed it, but so far it is absolutely amazing. And it's about this haunted house, and a couple, a newly married couple, move in. The wife has some psychological issues for which she has to go to a psychologist most of the time, or maybe a psychiatrist most of the time, and her husband is aware of it, and he urges her to take her medicines properly and be in touch with her psychologist or psychiatrist. And it so happens that they move into a haunted apartment, which is very beautiful, but then I have not come to the haunting as yet, but everybody knows it's haunted, but nobody tells this couple that yes, the flat is haunted. And also the wife who is seeing the psychiatrist is actually shaken because she had a terrible incident occur during her high school with her best friend Meher. And it so happens that when they reach Mumbai, where they are currently trying to search for this apartment, Meher is the same high school girl who was present when there was the psychological shock which had taken place for the wife. The wife's name is Anahita and the husband's name is Varun. Varun handles a political management agency campaign, etc., where he manages the profile of the politicians who are running for elections and pursuing their campaigns, etc. So this is what the story is all about, but there's a lot which is there in the mystery as well as in the history of this particular house. So let's see where I can, how much I can read within this week. I definitely will try and complete it so that I can speak more about it next week. So these are the three books. There's also the Gothic Book Club or the Lamentable Library's BookPick, which is Horrid. Now, I am taking my time with Horrid, or in reading Horrid, because I'm actually listening to the audiobook and I absolutely am loving the story. So I hope I should be able to complete it by the end of this week and get back to you with my views on that particular story. So these are the few books which I have been able to complete and which I would like to mention in this video.